Hello, welcome back. Hope everybody's well. I've been absent for a few weeks. Uh, Finally, we had the opportunity to do some retreat at the end of the year and the beginning of this year. And next week as well, we'll be out. But we have this little opening tonight to come together and contemplate and do Dharma practice again. One of the recommendations that two of my teachers gave us was to try to accomplish at least 2 months of retreat every year. In fact, I think Chagdud Rinpoche, if I'm not mistaken, recommended 4 months every year of retreat. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be 4 months continuous. You can do a month here, a month there, a drupchin here, a week here, a weekend there. In fact, for Chagdud Rinpoche, even daily puja, he counted towards retreat time. So let's say, for example, that every Tuesday night we do a half-hour of meditation together. So that's 25 hours a year. That also counts towards your retreat. That's another 2 days of retreat time. But it is very important for us to advance in our realization and meditation to set aside some time for retreat. So even though it makes our meetings less fluid and continuous, it's also very important for all of us to reserve the time to dedicate ourselves to practice and retreat. Otherwise, samsara just swallows us up. So right now, we're continuing our contemplation on this incredible book, Change of Heart. And we are in the section of mind and meditation. So it says the mind is like a television remote control. If we know how to change channels, we can change the picture. Cyclic existence from birth to death to the intermediate state and then to birth again goes on continuously for every being. We have short, sometimes long lives, sometimes happy, and sometimes sad. Throughout all of them, however, our mind's true nature never changes. Yet, its essential purity and our failure to recognize it exist simultaneously. Just as the impurities in gold ore exist simultaneously with the gold. If we identify with the seeming truth of the ore, we find ourselves in this dream of samsara. But by refining the ore, we reveal the gold, our true nature. We do that through meditation, training the mind, bringing it back repeatedly to a state of virtue and relaxation. With diligent practice, we can reveal our inherent wisdom. This is the only way to break free of the vice-like grip of ignorance, which gives rise to all obscurations and ultimately all suffering. The Tibetan word for wisdom is yeshe. Ye means timeless, pristine, primordial. She means knowing. In other words, knowing mind's nature. This wisdom does not usually come suddenly or quickly. However, step by step, we gain a greater understanding of absolute truth. First, we listen to spiritual teachings with an open mind. At this point, more than acquiring knowing, we are removing not knowing. After hearing the teachings again and again, we develop a new perspective. This is called the wisdom that comes from listening to the teachings. But this is only the beginning. We then use our intellect to ponder what we have learned. We identify our doubts, ask questions, and reflect on the answers. If we don't go through this process, trying to meditate is like attempting to sew with a two-pointed needle. But once we make the effort, we will be entirely clear as to why and how to meditate. Then we can meditate one-pointedly. Extensive reflection gives rise to what is called the wisdom that comes from contemplating the teachings. It removes doubts, removes ignorance, and decreases confusion. However, we still need to go further. It is possible to forget what we have contemplated unless we fully integrate our theoretical understanding into our mind and heart. The insight we gain while sitting on our meditation cushion can be difficult to access when we are in rush hour traffic or situations of conflict. That process of assimilation happens through meditation. We can understand intellectually that ignorance, attachment, and aversion prevent us from perceiving our intrinsic perfection. But mere understanding will not produce the direct realization of that perfection. If we just listen to teachings and think about our true nature but fail to meditate, we will never actually experience it. And we will remain as attached, ignorant, and angry as ever. Through meditation, we counteract old habits. The tightly rolled paper that we take out of the closet after many years gradually assumes its natural state, whether we roll it backward, place big rocks on the corners, or iron it flat. What we have heard becomes more obvious to us. We develop a genuine experience of the truth of the teachings. This increases our faith and diligence, which in turn makes us want to practice even more, which further increases our faith and diligence, and so on. This threefold process of exposure to the teachings, contemplation, and meditation enables us to transform negativity, awaken wisdom, and reveal our mind's positive qualities. Then, when difficult situations arise, in our efforts to serve others, we will be prepared to act appropriately.